Yukio, the boy without parents. When I was in elementary school, a boy named Yukio, I've forgotten how to write his name in kanji, transferred to our class. He was small, with a face that looked somewhat mixed race, and he had a nervous demeanor that made him seem out of place. Yukio didn't have any parents. He lived with his grandparents. Our teacher didn't explain the situation, but I heard it straight from Yukio himself. First, we bullied him, but it wasn't the sort of bullying where we extorted money. It was more petty stuff like elbowing him in the back when we passed by, cutting up his pencil case with a knife, or causing a ruckus during assembly by pretending to fart. It was childish behavior, but it must have been tough for him. Yet, despite his usual nervousness, Yukio showed a strange resilience during those moments. He never cried or got angry, nor did he report us to the teacher. So it quickly became less entertaining for us and we stopped bullying him. However, Yukio frequently missed school. I don't recall exactly how often, but I have a lasting impression that he was absent quite a bit. At that time, our school had a rule that if someone was absent, a classmate from the neighborhood had to deliver their school lunch. It became my responsibility to bring bread to Yukio. Though his house was quite far away, it was the closest among our classmates and conveniently along my way home. Yukio's home was a wooden, traditional-style house, the kind that felt like it belonged to an elderly couple. I had never been inside. There was something inherently dark about the place, and it gave me an uneasy feeling. Whenever I delivered the bread, I would hand it to his grandmother and hurry back. One day, Yukio was absent again, so I went to drop off the bread. When I called out at the entrance, Yukio surprised me by answering the door. His face was pale, as if he had a cold. Yukio invited me inside. "Let's play with my toys," he said. The toy he mentioned was one I had wanted, so I shook off my unease and stepped inside. Entering his room, I was taken aback. The walls were covered in stickers and seals, including what looked like talismans from a shrine. Even the sliding doors we had just come through were plastered with them. "What the hell is this?" I asked. "My grandparents put up these talismans, but they're a bit scary on their own, so I add stickers to make it less creepy," Yukio explained. "I noticed some talismans that looked like they had been written by him. Why not just tear them down?" I suggested. "If I did that, my grandpa would get mad." Yukio fell silent. That day, I played in his room for about an hour before heading home. The next day, he was absent again. The teacher asked me about Yukio's condition. I told her he seemed unwell. "I see. I haven't received a call about his absence, so I was wondering what was going on. Why not call him?" I did, but no one answered. "Did you see his grandparents?" "I didn't see them yesterday." If he's going to be absent, tell Yukio to give us a call at least." I played in Yukio's room again that day. He had a lot of toys. Feeling a bit envious, I asked him where he got them. "They were bought for me by my mom and dad." "Where are your mom and dad?" I inquired. "They're dead," Yukio said it so matter-of-factly. "Why?" "In a car accident." Seeing him stare at the ground while fiddling with his toys made me feel uneasy, so I changed the subject. "Are you going to school tomorrow?" "I don't know. Are you all right?" "If you're not feeling well, you should call the teacher." "Sorry. It's no use telling me." "What about your grandparents?" "They're in the back room." "Then tell them, okay? I can't sleep." "What?" "My mom and dad keep coming to me in my dreams, calling for me. They call me over and over, 'Yukio, Yukio.' It scares me so I can't sleep. Last night they grabbed my arm. They want to take me away." I started to feel really scared, and when I said I was going home, Yukio insisted I stay. "I get that you're scared, but I can't just spend the night here." "Why not?" "My mom would worry." As I said that, a chill ran down my spine. Yukio stared down and fell silent. I couldn't take it anymore and bolted out of his house. The next day, Yukio was absent again. The teacher said she would come with me, and on our way home, she drove me to Yukio's house. When she called out at the entrance, there was no response. She frowned when she opened the door. After taking off our shoes, we stepped inside. No one was in the kitchen or Yukio's room. Exiting Yukio's room, I noticed a door on the right. That must be the back room Yukio had mentioned. The teacher opened the sliding door there. The moment she did, she froze in place, quickly shutting the door again. In that fleeting moment, I caught a glimpse of the room through her body. I saw Yukio's bloodied face. I think she called the police after that. I hardly remember what happened next, but the police did come. The following day, the teacher told the class that Yukio and his grandparents had died, but she didn't mention the blood. She only said they had passed away. Later, I shared Yukio's dream story with her. She listened in silence for a while. Then, she told me not to tell anyone and revealed the truth about Yukio's parents. They had committed suicide. They had attempted a murder-suicide. At that time, Yukio had survived by a stroke of luck and was taken in by his grandparents. Even hearing that didn't shock me much. Deep down, I had sensed something was off. A few days later, I was called in by the police to recount what had happened at Yukio's house. I also told them about his dream. The officers pressed me repeatedly, questioning whether I was lying. I insisted it was all true. "Are you sure you heard that from Yukio in that house?" "Yes." The teacher, who had come with me, looked troubled. The officer waved his hand dismissively at her. Maybe that was a signal. After a moment of thought, the teacher turned to me. "Listen, you and I went to Yukio's house, right?" At that time, she struggled to say the words, and I felt a sense of dread creeping in. By then, it had been at least 3 days since Yukio and the others had died.